Welcome to Nefarious Cast. I'm Joshua. I'm going to be your host tonight, and we are coming in a little bit late this weekend. Had a company barbecue, and that kind of took up some time yesterday, the day I usually spend in recording this. It was good, though. First barbecue with the company. Got to know a lot of people. A couple of head honchos flew in from Indiana. It was a very good and productive barbecue, and great to meet everybody there. But it kind of wore me out, so we didn't do anything yesterday with recording. Everything got set up, but it got pretty late to where I didn't want to start recording at 2 a.m. So I should say, set everything up and kind of fine-tuned some things this morning and waited for it to get dark because where I live, it kind of messes with how I want the lighting to go, which has been a chore tonight as well. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in and being patient with the way things are going and trying new equipment in the last couple weeks. But we are going to be continuing on in our series this weekend with character. And it's going to be, I should say, more character-related topics. We kind of stepped away from the actual character traits portion of this, and we've been dealing with a few other things, such as perseverance. We dealt with testing last week. How are you when you're tested in your life? What do you do? We really have been talking about things that actually surround character and how you are in your life. So this week is going to be much of the same. We're going to talk about truth. I was able to watch one of the senators from Louisiana. It was some older videos. They happened to pop up when I was watching something else at the end of the YouTube video that I was watching at the time. And it was pretty interesting because while I was cooking at the time, I sat there listening to this senator, I believe his name is Kennedy from Louisiana, and he was really grueling the candidates for these positions to sit on the various benches around the country. Multiple states have Supreme Courts and things like that, obviously, and there's Supreme Court nominees and things for the court and our ultimate court in the land. And he was talking to these judges, and really, it's an interview. They don't have much time. I think I'm absolutely in agreement with him. He made a comment saying, we don't get the time to vet you and these judges and spend the time they need to get to know these people. These senators in a very short period of time have to get to know the body of knowledge and the things that these people have done that have got them where they are in a position to sit on a bench, a lifetime appointment. So it is really an interesting thing to watch. But one thing I did watch and notice that, and I see this a lot in our weekly day-to-day grind, especially on TV. He would ask them questions that are really opinionated questions, since they don't get to vet these people as well as they should, or as well as they would like. He would ask them a lot of questions that weren't necessarily geared towards their body of accomplishments per se, because that's something you can read on paper. What he would do is he would look at things they've said in the past that were private issues, or statements they made in the press and different other things, and he would touch more on some of those issues, a little bit on their record on what they did, but he wanted to find out what type of people they were. There were other senators that kind of picked at him for it, but I watched it, and I agree with what he was doing, to where I think he was getting a bad rap from some of the other senators. Because when you talk to a person, and much like the interviews I've been through here recently in the last, in the beginning of the year, essentially the first 6 months of the year, you want to know the person. You can see their body of work, but you don't know the person. You don't know what their decision making is like. You don't know what their mentality is on things. You don't know what their personality and character is. You're getting to know all these facets of a person, and one of the things that really struck me as being something that has decayed our country and our moral fiber, if you will, is truth. Now, we've talked about honesty in the past in one of the videos, and about being honest. Are you an honest person, and things of that nature? But what we haven't really touched on surrounds honesty, and it deals with many other facets. That's why we talk about some of these other things other than direct character traits. And one of those is, and it goes kind of with perception, is truth. In our day and age, in this world we live in, it seems that truth has gotten lost. Okay, truth has become a commodity that's traded, that's really fabricated and tailored to each specific person's point of view. Okay, and that's really not what truth is. We're going to read it. I'm going to read a example. I've got the dictionary kind of definitions here, and I'm going to read a couple of them here, and we're going to talk about this for a minute. So I'm going to Merriam-Webster here. And for their definition of truth, of course, they have multiple things that they list under there, and then they have subheadings A, B, C, D, and E. So you'll have to take a look at these and kind of, if you want some more in-depth views of what the dictionary says. But number one, the body of real things, events, or facts. Okay, there is a 2 under that same first one, the state of being, the case, a fact. 3, often capitalized, a transcendent, fundamental, or spiritual reality. So I guess that's a truth. A judgment, proposition, or idea that is true or accepted as true. Okay. You have the body of true statements and propositions. Here is the one that I like the best. It's number 2, the property, and it has a parenthesis, as of a statement of being in accord with fact or reality. Okay. So without as of a statement portion of that in there, I would say the property of being in accord with fact or reality. Okay. That is there's multiple things that I've read in different books and definitions, and they seem to want to tailor what truth is. And there's a very long list of truths that the dictionaries and the books kind of give off. But the fact of the matter is truth is exactly what I believe number 2 says. It is a fact or reality. It is something truth. When you seek truth in your life, when you seek truth in things, you are looking for what is known. Okay. You're not looking for a fairy tale that, some unknown thing. That is not a truth. That is not factual. So all these different things that we're making truth out to be is really just kind of distorting what truth actually is. In my life, I try to seek truth all the time, as far as, and I think with most people, that is the case. Whenever you're striving for knowledge, okay, knowledge, in my opinion, is in wisdom and things like that, is the accumulation of truths. It's what you learn. You have learned these facts. You have learned these realities, and in all sorts of facets and areas of life, and you are collecting them in your mind, in your brain, and storing them, and that eventually gets you, that's knowledge, and hopefully makes you wiser every time you learn something new. And you can obviously apply those things in your life. Now, as far as you're seeking truths each day and all week, you really have to weed out a lot of things. Okay. People are constantly giving opinions on things. Okay. Not necessarily truths, may or may not be true. It's really unknown, but there's a lot of things, especially like if you watch a lot of documentaries like I do, and you watch a lot of, I watch a lot of court and mystery TV things, a lot of crime things that are on there. Those are always interesting to me to see how things have transpired, and a lot of the things that I don't watch a whole lot of news, so I miss a lot of things. Throughout my week, and these crime series really interest me. And one of the things that I also noticed, other than during the Senate hearings, is that on these other TV shows, there's a lot of times where they're doing this show and they're portraying someone as being a very big monster of a person. And to that, I would agree, in many cases. But there was some I was watching to where they're not telling you, they can't be telling you all the information, because the information they're giving is either very much one-sided and it is not an actual truth or fact, or we are going around convicting people in this country of stuff left and right based on the loosest of evidence and stuff that's not factual or truthful. And that's disturbing. I think that, in watching these shows and in watching the hearings and in dealing with people in my life, we really tiptoe around the truth. But the reality that goes with truth is some of the truths that we adhere to are false. They're not actually truth. We don't take it. They're not absolutely facts. They're not absolutes. They're not the reality of a situation. They're what is a best guess, an opinion. They're all these things that are not actually truths. And we start to incorporate them into our lives. During the pandemic, we were fed a lot of things that were not absolute truths. We were told, masks is case in point. Okay, they told us to wear 1 mask, 2 masks, 10 masks out there. Okay, they went on these CDC sites and you had this gentleman, Dr. Fauci, on there, and he was telling us to wear masks, okay, and it would help protect us from COVID. The reality is if you look at things that have transpired, the information that they gave us was not correct. And you can go onto the CDC's website and see this thing, but that's just one example of something that affects your life, that greatly affected everyone in the country's lives, that we were told incorrect information about. Okay, and so you really got to watch the truths that you are fed in your daily lives and really weigh those, and find the best sources of information, whether it's people, whether it's books, videos, whatever the case may be. There's information all over the place, and second opinions. There's doctors, in every part of the world. Really seek out the best possible sources for the truths that you are looking for, because if you don't do that, if you don't do your diligence when you are seeking out truth in your life, you're going to be living a lie. And that's really ultimately where we end up today. This is going to be a short video. I would encourage and really challenge you to look at the things that you are learning, look at what's being told to you in your life each week, and really put it to a litmus test. Ask, is this truth? And weigh that out. Okay, is this factual? where am I getting this information? Where is the person I'm listening to getting this information from? Where is what I'm seeing? Where is that coming from? Because we have really stepped away from doing our homework when we see something or hear something, and we have become a country that just accepts what we're being told or what we might be seeing, okay? And without saying, okay, is this truth? Is this real? And we need to get away from that, because it has over influenced how we live as a society and how we are raising our children at times. And I will tell you from firsthand experience, if you don't teach your children about truth and try to get them in the habit of actually seeking the absolute truth and how corrupt lying is in life, it will cost them everything. And I've had to explain that to my own son in his life. Unfortunately, kids don't always listen. And, things end up being what they are. But the reality is, if we don't change the way we seek for truth in this country and in this world, everything we do will be some tailored version of a lie. And it will be whatever truths we want things to be, which that doesn't work. Okay. I could be standing in the middle of a road and say, my truth is that if that car, drives at me, that I'm not going to get hit. Okay. It's a stupid example, but it's really what I'm trying to touch in on. And then you stand in the middle of the road and you get hit by a car. So it's dangerous to say that my truth is what I'm perceiving, and my truth is I come up with my own truths. Well, no, that's not the case. Truth is facts. Truth is absolutes. Truths are known things. Truth is reality. So again, this week I challenge you, please question where you're getting your information, question your truths that you are coming across in your life, and really weigh those things out and find out if you are actually getting the truth that you are seeking or not, because your life can pay a huge price at times if you don't. So that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for being patient this week. Had to revamp a bunch of equipment and trying new things out every week, trying new lighting techniques and different other things. But hopefully we're getting back on track. Last week was trying some new equipment and a different microphone, and I think it worked okay with some fine tuning there. So I will continue to mess with settings, mess with equipment, and try and just make this the best I can make it for the podcast. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the channel. All the views and things of that nature. It's very important. They, as I've said before, they track the analytics of this. So this way I can get my videos to the forefront and kind of move up in the chain here in the ladder for YouTube. Please like and subscribe. If you're watching this from my site directly, there is on the bottom of the screen, there's an email and there's a link. And if the link actually takes you to the YouTube site directly, because it's hard to find, you can't actually always search it and find the Nefarious Cast videos. So that link will get you directly there. The email that's at the bottom, please write in. I haven't been getting any emails. I'm every time that I make a podcast, I ask you guys for some talk back and forth. We can set up, a dialogue. I can even plug a cell phone in, give you a call. I mean, things can be worked out through email and set something up for audio interview that can be played on the podcast. So a lot of things we can do, but I definitely want the back and forth. I definitely want the conversation. Tell me what you think. Maybe I'm out of my mind and you absolutely disagree with what I'm saying. Maybe you have some things to add that would be helpful to others. Absolutely. I would love it if you just write in and speak your mind, and we'll have some good dialogue and conversation about these topics. And maybe, if you tell me some topics you want to talk about, what's been gnawing on you for the week. What do you think that about society and the way things are going? Let's tell me what's on your mind. So that being said, thank you once again for watching and supporting the channel. And as usual, I'll see you when I see you. Thanks.